I've told Papoose. I told them, why don't you tell this stuff? Why don't you tell her, why don't you tell your current come up? Because that's what it is. Tell your current come up. Don't say nothing about me. Maybe not even say nothing about you until shit is what it is. I'm in here on my TVs. You know, me and my daughter, we have the same name. She looks at everything. I'm in here putting certain things in so that when she's scrolling through YouTube, certain things don't come up, and I gotta try to explain to her. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing anything extra. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not trying to prove to nobody who I'm with or what I'm doing, because that's not what I do. That's not what I do. Like, nobody shouldn't have any ill will towards me, because I ain't do nothing to nobody. Nobody in the whole situation should have any ill will towards me. Nobody. I mean, you're just mad. You're punching the air. That my air. I've never breathed so freely in my life. Okay. I couldn't take it anymore. I said, hey, this ain't what it is. We can't keep doing this. We talking about people being truthful. Truthful? The truth, you would probably literally, like, people will cry if they knew the truth. Like, literally cry. Like, cry. I look at it now, and I feel sorry for old girl. Like, I feel sorry for her. Because I know the circles that's being ran and wrapped around over there. Like, I would cry. I feel bad. I feel bad. Stop calling me.
Mm-hmm.
And do you accept or do you not accept? That's kind of what it was. And he's been truthful from the beginning. And we fell asleep on the phone for 3-4 months of us first getting together. So for us to fall asleep on a regular night and then to wake up to chaos in the morning was like, oh shit.
I would say that's how we found out, because y'all was on the damn phone.
But that had been going on for 3-4 months.
Mm.
And that wasn't just at night. We talked from sun up to sundown. So that, like I said, that's what shocked me, because I was like, oh, hell, what the heck? Because if we go to sleep on the phone for 4 months, every night, and the phone is saying it's 4 hours, 3 hours, whatever, hours on the phone, you don't think that one day you're going to wake up to that, you know? So that's what threw me off. But hey, at the end of the day, look, women are women. I don't know what else to say. Like, I don't have any ill will toward any women. And I don't have any ill will toward her. You know what
So
I'm
y'all
saying?
haven't spoke nah.
Nah, I mean, she made her post and whatever, and that was about it.
My man is minding his business. He's where he's at. We're not together all the time. We got 2 different careers. He's a rapper, I'm a boxer. I'm literally in camp. I don't travel when I'm in camp. You guys know I'm just very focused. Like, I would go into like, you guys know a bit about my business.
We know, girl. We know, girl.
Oh, my man's texting me. Pap love when I send him workout videos.
This situation stopped being a quiet, private breakup the moment it stepped into the spotlight. The second people began going live, sharing hints, and turning short comments into full explanations, the door to privacy closed. What might have stayed between a few people suddenly became a story for millions. Now, what we see between Remy Ma, Papoose, and Clarissa Shields is not only about feelings or a relationship. It feels more like a fight over how the story will be remembered. Each person seems focused on shaping the version of events that the world will believe. The moment that changed everything did not come from a screenshot, a leaked message, or a hidden recording. It came from a single sentence. When Remy said, "People would cry if they knew the truth," the mood shifted right away. That line did not sound like a joke or a quick response. It sounded like a warning. It suggested there was more under the surface, something deeper that had not yet been shared. After that, the internet stopped asking simple questions like who said what or who started it. Instead, people began asking, what are we missing? That shift pulled Clarissa into the center of attention. She was no longer seen as just someone dating a man who said he was separated. In the public eye, she became part of a story that still had loose ends, strong emotions, and unfinished business. Many viewers did not treat her as a fresh start or a new chapter. They saw her as part of the overlap between past and present. Once that label sticks, every action is judged in a different way. Even small things start to look bigger than they really are. Fans began saying that Clarissa was not only standing up for the man she cared about, they believed she was also defending her own choices. That is a hard place to be, because when your decisions are questioned by thousands of people, it can feel like your identity is being tested. At that point, you are no longer just explaining facts. You are trying to protect how people see you as a person. Then Papoose went live on Instagram. He stayed on for nearly 2 hours. His voice was calm. His tone stayed steady. There was no shouting or name-calling. He spoke like someone who wanted to take control of the story. He said Remy crossed lines. He claimed she tried to reach out to him in private. One sentence stood out and spread quickly across social media. You called me yesterday trying to get back with me. That one line did a lot of work. Pushed away blame from him. At the same time, it painted Remy as someone who was hurt, rejected, and reacting with emotion. If people believed that version, then her words would sound like anger instead of truth. The focus would move away from his actions and land on her response. It was a strong way to change the direction of the conversation. Remy did not stay quiet. She responded fast, saying she never wanted him back. Then she turned her attention toward Clarissa. She told her to stop acting innocent and stop presenting herself as an upgrade. She used a word that hit hard. Come up. That word was not about love or feelings. It was about status. It suggested that Clarissa was gaining something from the situation, whether that was attention, visibility, or a higher profile. At that point, Clarissa was no longer just caught in the middle. In the eyes of many viewers, she became part of the conflict. That is when she finally spoke for herself. Her tone was not playful or light. It was sharp and tired. She began by saying she did not even know where to start. That alone told people she had been holding a lot inside. She denied that Papoose was her manager, a rumor that had been spreading online. She described him as loyal and steady. She tried to explain the timeline, separating dates, legal steps, feelings, and reality. But once people believe there is overlap, they often stop caring about details. They start looking for patterns instead. That is where things grew more complicated. The idea that this was not the first time something like this had happened began to spread. Old rumors came back. Stories about past relationships, possible outside children, and connections during difficult periods resurfaced. Some of these claims were denied. Others were corrected. But once the idea of a pattern enters public conversation, it becomes very hard to erase. People started seeing Papoose differently. For years, many viewed him as the loyal husband, the steady partner, and the supportive figure. Now, some began to see him as someone who knew how to manage situations, someone who could keep emotional doors open without fully closing others. The question changed from "is he loyal?" to "is he good at switching paths?" Clarissa could feel that shift in how people talked about her and the man she was with. Her responses became firmer. She made it clear she did not want to be spoken about as if she were naive or dependent. She reminded people that she is a professional fighter. She stands on her own. She does not need to be saved or carried by anyone. One small moment online made things worse. A short clip went viral where Papoose rated Clarissa's cooking. It was meant to be fun, simple couple content. But the internet framed it in a different way. People joked that he looked uncomfortable, like he was choosing every word carefully. Whether fair or not, how something looks often matters more than what it truly is. That clip fed a growing idea that Clarissa was trying to make the relationship appear stronger than it really was. That is where talk of panic came in. Not panic as in fear, but panic as in over-explaining. When someone feels their position slipping, they often talk more, defend more, and try harder to win an argument they do not fully control. The pressure can make every move feel heavy, like it carries more meaning than intended. Some fans went further, and comments turned harsh. There were claims that crossed lines and painted Clarissa as weak or manipulated. She pushed back strongly against that image. She said she was not broke, not dependent, and not being used. She made it clear she knows who she is and what she brings to the table. Remy, on the other hand, kept hinting that she had more to say. She suggested that if Clarissa kept speaking, she would go even harder on Papoose. That kind of statement does two things at once. It warns Clarissa to stay quiet, and it signals that there is still unfinished business between Remy and Papoose. Then people started digging into Remy's old interviews about co-parenting. She had spoken in the past about how smooth things were, how easy communication felt, and how present Papoose had been. That raised a new question. If things were working like that, what changed so suddenly that made her speak out in public? Another old story came back into the spotlight. A claim that Papoose once caught Remy in a situation with someone else. That flipped the story again. Now people were unsure who hurt who first. Some said Remy had no right to be angry. Others said that story was a distraction, meant to shift focus and confuse the conversation. This is how public storytelling often works. You do not always prove innocence. Sometimes you create enough confusion that people no longer know what to believe. Clarissa is standing in the middle of all of it. She is watching Remy go live. She is watching Papoose go live. She is seeing blogs post updates every hour. She is reading comments that call her foolish one moment and strong the next. That kind of attention does not disappear just because you say you are unbothered. She even hinted that she was reaching a breaking point. That does not sound like weakness. It sounds like someone who is tired of being under a spotlight that never turns off. At this stage, the relationship itself almost feels secondary. The chaos has become the main event. Clarissa has to decide whether standing beside him means standing inside constant fire. Remy has to decide whether going public is about sharing the truth or keeping control of the story. Papoose has to decide whether staying calm protects him or makes him look calculated. It feels like someone in this situation knows more than they are saying. Someone is holding back. Someone else is waiting for the right moment. The question many people keep asking is simple but heavy. Who will drop the proof that makes everyone change sides? This is no longer about who spoke the loudest or who had the sharpest comeback on a live stream. It is about timing, image, and influence. Once personal matters go public, the truth becomes complicated. Silence starts to sound loud. Explanations begin to feel defensive. Every move looks like a piece of evidence in a case that never really closes. There is also a deeper layer that many viewers are beginning to notice. Fame changes how stories are told. When thousands of people are watching, every feeling can turn into a performance, even if no one means it to be. A simple message can become a headline. A private thought can turn into a viral clip. That pressure can push people to act in ways they normally would not. Some fans feel uncomfortable watching it all unfold. They say it feels like real lives are being turned into entertainment. Others argue that when you live in the public eye, attention is part of the deal. Both views exist at the same time, and neither one is likely to disappear. What makes this situation so gripping is not just the famous names involved. It is the human part of it. Pride, hurt, loyalty, and fear are all playing roles. Each person is trying to protect something important. For Remy, it may be her history and her family. For Papoose, it may be his image and his sense of self. For Clarissa, it may be her judgment and her independence. The internet will keep watching. There will be more live videos, more posts, more reactions, and more opinions. Some people will change their minds. Others will hold on to their first impression. But one thing feels certain. Once a story reaches this level of attention, it rarely becomes simple again. So now the conversation stays open. Who do you think is handling this in the smartest way? Do you see heartbreak, careful planning, or wounded pride behind the moves being made? And when the full truth finally comes out, who do you think it will affect the most? This story is still being written, and every reaction adds another line to the page.